Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Zoe and I make motherhood and lifestyle videos. In today's video, I'm going to be snack prepping. So it's a Saturday here, so there's no work. So I thought Nate's just gone to sleep. My husband is busy in the office today, so I'm pretty free this morning. So I thought I would just get in and make a couple of snacks, easy go-to snacks that I can make now ahead of time, and then we have them in the fridge ready to go if we don't have time to put something together, and they'll be healthy baked snacks that I'm going to be preparing, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I'm making them and what I do. And they'll be safe, of course, for babies and toddlers, and my hubby will also probably have some of the snacks and myself for sure. So we just went out this morning. We went out for a cafe. Saturday is family day. So we went and got a coffee, and then we went and bought some groceries, and now Nate is completely tuckered out. He's exhausted from our trip. So hopefully I have a good 2 or 3 hours before he wakes up. And this morning I'm going to be making some mini muffins. I'll be making banana and blueberry mini muffins. And then I'm going to make some savoury muffins as well. I love making savoury muffins. They're so easy. You can have them as a breakfast as well. I mean, the blueberry and banana muffins can also be a pretty healthy breakfast. And the savoury muffins will be packed full of protein. There'll be eggs, ham, cheese, and then I'll throw in some veggies as well. So it's a great way to hide veggies in that, you can chop up some spinach really fine, some capsicum, whatever you have in the house really. And then I'll also be making some little scroll bites. So I just use some normal like lunch wraps, like the tortilla wraps, and then I will spread some cream cheese on top of that and put some probably some salads and ham, and then I roll it up and cut it into little bite-sized pieces. So I'll be making a bunch of them as well. So here I am making the first snacks. I'm going to be making some banana and blueberry muffins, and we're just adding the self-raising flour. We're doing 1.5 cups. I'm using a gluten-free flour here because I'm gluten-free, but you could use any type of flour really. Of course, we're going to sift this. And now we're going to add just 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and then 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm just using raw sugar here. And the beauty about this recipe is because of the fruit, the banana and the blueberries, it already sweetens the mix quite well, so you don't need to add a lot of sugar. You could probably even add less if you wanted to. Now we're going to mash the banana up, and I'm just going to do it in the butter that I've melted. So I've melted 100 grams of butter. I'm going to mash the banana up first with my hands as much as possible just to make it easier, then use a fork. And I always choose to mash banana in some sort of warm liquid because I find it just mashes so much easier. So I'm going to try to get out as many lumps as possible, try to mash it down as much as you can. And then we'll add that to the dry ingredients. Now we're going to add some eggs. So in this recipe, we're doing 3 eggs. Now we're going to add our blueberries. Now you don't need to chop the blueberries. You can just throw them straight in. Just giving them a wash here because they will, they'll usually burst in the heat once they start cooking. And now we're going to add some milk. So I'm adding about 3/4 cup of milk. I'm just using some goat's milk that I had frozen, but you can use any milk here. If you can't tolerate dairy, you could even use an almond milk. That would also work. And then of course we're going to give it a good mix. I'm only using a spatula here because I don't want to pop the blueberries with a normal whisk, and I've realized there isn't quite enough blueberries. So I'm going to add another handful or so. Now we're just spooning them into the tray, and I have sprayed the trays with some organic coconut oil spray. Now we're putting them in the oven, and we're going to cook them for 20 minutes on 160 degrees. Now they're all done. They came out really, really nicely, and they did cook for 20 minutes. Now I'm making the next lot of snacks. I'm going to be making some savoury muffins here, or mini quiches. And the beauty about this recipe is you can really just throw in anything that you had in your fridge. So I'm going to be chopping up ham. I have some capsicum here, spinach, and I'll be grating some zucchini. But you can add in, mushrooms, onion. You can do different types of meat, whatever you have really. And it's a really good one as well that you can hide lots of vegetables in, especially for like picky eaters. And things like spinach or grated veggies, like the grated zucchini or even a grated carrot, they really do just melt away once they're cooked. Now we're adding the eggs to our veggies and meat. So I'll be adding 6 eggs to this. Now these are savoury muffins, but they're going to probably turn out more like mini quiches because I do like them more that sort of texture, really eggy, but of course you can change that ratio. Now we're adding our flour. I'm only going to be adding half a cup of self-raising flour to this mix. But as I mentioned, these are more like mini quiches rather than savoury muffins, but you can add more flour if you wanted. 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, and then 1 whole cup of cheese. Now we're adding our milk. So I'm just doing half a cup of goat's milk and some pepper and salt, of course. Got to give it some flavor. You can add any herbs to this, but I'm going to be adding rosemary today. I'm going to be adding a 1/4 cup of olive oil. You could substitute this for a different oil if you'd prefer. And then giving it a really good mix, trying to make sure all that flour and baking powder is mixed through everything. You can see that the mixture is quite runny, but if you were adding more flour, less egg, it wouldn't be as runny. Now I'm going to be spraying some trays with coconut oil spray. And then scooping the mixture. I'm going to be using a measuring cup to scoop because it is so runny I can't just use a spoon. Now they're in the oven and we're going to cook them at 180 for 25 to 30 minutes. Now they're all done out of the oven and they turned out really nice. They only needed 20 to 25 minutes. So they cooked quite fast. Now for my next snack prep, I'm going to be making some wrap bites. So I'm using both gluten-free wraps and some normal wraps. And I'm going to be using some spreadable cream cheese. I just use the back of a spoon to spread that. I just find it the easiest. Now you can put anything on these. That's the beauty of this one. And it's not only just a snack, but it can be a really nice lunch. Now, I'm using some ham and I really love this brand. It's 100% natural. That means there's no preservatives at all. There's none of those chemicals that you often find in deli meats. And I've never been able to find any brand that does it apart from this one. Now with these wraps, as I said, you can just add in any ingredient that you want, but you do have to watch out for how thin they are. They do have to be thin enough that you can still roll it nicely. So you don't want anything too chunky. So I want to add this cucumber, but to make it nice and thin, I'm just going to be peeling it with a normal vegetable peeler. But another thing that you can add that would also work well would be smashed avocado. If If you were making this ahead of time though, I wouldn't put avocado on it straight away because avocado does oxidize really fast and it turns brown, and although it's fine, it does look a bit funny. So that's probably something you'd put on sort of right before you're going to eat it. Now we are rolling it up as tight as possible. Then we're going to cut it into little bite-sized pieces. These are really great for little lunchbox snacks as well. My last snack prep, I'm going to be making a simple fruit salad because I'm just using the fruit that we have available in the house and fruit that Nate can have and enjoys. I'm not going to be putting anything hard in it like apple because he's just way too young still. He's only 1. So we have some banana, we have kiwi fruit, strawberry, and blueberries. Now the cool thing about kiwi fruit is if you cut it in quarters like I did lengthwise, then you can easily just pop it straight out of the skin. It just peels straight off. It's really easy. And then I'm just going to cut it into really small pieces. Because once again, I will be giving some of this to Nate. But if you have just older children, you can probably make it a fair bit chunkier. Now this will probably keep in our fridge for 2 to 3 days, but for fruit salad, you do want to eat it pretty fast. Once fruit is chopped, it can go bad really quickly in the fridge. So I'm looking for some ripe strawberries here. I only just bought this punnet. You can tell that they're ripe because the red color goes all the way up to the green leaves. If there's still quite a large chunk of that whitish color at the top, then it's not quite ripe enough. It'll be just not as juicy and tasty. This one's so quick and easy to make. The blueberries, you don't need to chop them, you just throw them in. And then I'm adding shredded coconut. I do that because not only does it taste really nice with the fruit, but it also soaks up some of those fruit juices that you get when there's, with cut fruit. Give it a good shake, mix everything together. And that's just turned out perfectly. So I just want to show you guys this little lunch that I threw together for Nate for church tomorrow. Just a few things that I've made already. We've got the fruit salad, the little mini muffin. I've got a little cheese stick and then those little wrap bites that I made. So some of these snacks can be put together as a perfect lunch. So there you have it. That's my healthy meal prep for the week for mainly snacks, but you can easily turn it into a meal, as you can see, for Nate's lunch that he's going to have tomorrow. Just lots of little snacky things. And it's great to have some of those snacks prepped in the fridge, ready to go. Savory and sweet snacks that we can grab for either breakfast, lunch, or morning tea or afternoon tea. They're really, really great to fill those hungry bellies. So I hope today has inspired you to do some healthy snack prep so you don't end up, having one of those situations where you don't have something quick and healthy to eat. So you do end up eating, something that you shouldn't. And I do that all the time. So that's why I love doing things like this, because I'm more inclined to go and eat the healthy stuff. I hope you really liked this video. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up if you did, and make sure you hit subscribe so you can watch my next video. Thanks for watching, guys.